Hi everyone, this is Dr. Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Today is an important day because we are expected to get an outline of this bipartisan $908 billion Senate proposal for stimulus that is projected to be part of a $2.4 trillion package that is going to get passed next week, out of which $1.4 trillion will be for government funding, and right around $900 billion is expected to be for stimulus. But guess what? There were some reports earlier this morning that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was not going to support the $908 billion plan. Now, I did not announce that on our channel because I was waiting for more news to come out, and more news has indeed come out. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and the White House are going to discuss relief plans, discuss a $908 billion stimulus package as early as today, as early as this afternoon. So what's happening is that later this afternoon, we can expect the outline of the $908 billion stimulus plan to be released by the bipartisan group. And the two key issues remain liability protection for businesses and aid to state and local governments. My name is Dr. Chhoda. Welcome to our channel. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money, because what's going on in the country affects the economy, and what's going on in the economy affects your wallet. With that being said, let's just jump right in. Now, the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has not yet publicly supported the $908 billion plan. I have to be honest with you, if the Senate Majority Leader decides to bring this plan for a vote on the floor of the Senate, keep in mind it's just a plan, it needs to become a bill, and right now they're working on the bill, and the bill should almost be complete by now. But if the Senate Majority Leader decides to bring this bill for a vote on the floor of the Senate, I see a very high probability that this will indeed become law and it'll be signed by the president. So what's happening today? The Senate Majority Leader, again, he has not publicly endorsed the plan. He will be speaking with Mnuchin, U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, and the White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, along with the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and this is actually going to take place today. So the question is, why haven't they come to a consensus so far? Why hasn't Congress still come to a consensus? Why have they wasted so much time? And keep in mind, $1.4 trillion is going to be funding for the government, and $900 billion is going to be for stimulus checks. Well, here's a tweet on your screen from Heather Long from the Washington Post. There are two major sticking points. One is that Democrats want more money for state and local governments, and Republicans want a liability shield to prevent companies from getting sued over COVID, frivolous lawsuits. What is the one thing that they're not discussing? What is the one thing that is seriously not being discussed right now? The stimulus checks. I did do a video yesterday on my channel where I talked about the Republican Senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley, in addition to Bernie Sanders from Vermont and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from New York, essentially pushing for stimulus checks. But these individuals, these lawmakers, seem to be in the minority right now. Right now, the leadership is concerned about liability shield and aid for state and local governments, and those are the two main sticking points. Here's an article on your screen that you'll see that was published on Bloomberg today. The headline of the article says, McConnell White House to discuss relief plans as talks slow. Now, the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said something interesting as early as yesterday, and she said, and I'm going to quote her, she remains optimistic about getting a deal, but she emphasized that she considers it a bridge to another larger stimulus package proposed next year once President-elect Joe Biden takes office. She said, and I'm quoting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, make no mistake, this is an emergency supplemental. It is not a stimulus. It's too small. That's what House Speaker Pelosi says. Now, keep in mind, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is insisting on federal limits for COVID-related lawsuits against businesses. That is basically a key sticking point right now. I want to be clear, Republicans do not like the 6-month moratorium on lawsuits that has been proposed in this bipartisan Senate plan. And we can expect the entire draft of the $908 billion bipartisan Senate plan to be released sometime this afternoon, and you'll hear from me when that draft is released. But I've basically given you what's expected to be in that bill. A $300 a week booster to federal unemployment benefits starting from the 1st of January, not the 1st of December, as was originally reported. We'll see what happens in the final draft, but it'll be starting from the 1st of January based on the information I have, lasting for 4 months. We will see an extension of PEUC and an extension of the PUA program. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we will not see stimulus checks. That's where things stand right now. It seems that we'll know more this afternoon. Now, here's something that's even more interesting. The draft that we expected to see this afternoon will not address the liability shield, will not address aid for state and local governments, even though those are the two main sticking points, because they need more time to work on those things. So again, what we see this afternoon is just going to be a draft. Let's not get all excited about it, because unless the liability shield component and the state and liability aid is worked out, it's not going to go anywhere. Now, in the past 24 hours on the floor of the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said this: drop the all or nothing tactics. He was referring to Democrats on the floor of the Senate in the past 24 hours. The Senate Majority Leader called on Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, to allow a vote on a smaller targeted bill that provides extended unemployment benefits, small business aid, and funding for vaccines. Here's another thing that the Senate Majority Leader said: I'm optimistic we're going to get somewhere. That is what he told reporters on Monday in the past 24 hours. And he said, but I have no report at the moment about how. Based on what we are seeing right now, the entire thing hinges less on aid for state and local governments and more on liability protection. The entire thing could actually hinge on liability protection. I just want to be clear to our viewers and subscribers. I know the struggle you're going through. I know that for you, it's about putting food on the table. It's about making rent. It's about keeping the lights on. But for these lawmakers, they are focusing on liability protection even more so than aid for state and local governments, even more so than stimulus checks. In fact, I would say that Josh Hawley, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders are in the minority. I have reported on that, but I want to be clear that the chances of a stimulus check being included in this bill, this $908 billion stimulus bill, are almost zero. Listen, guys, don't blame the messenger. I'm just trying to give you the real news, the facts. I'm not going to make up stuff. I'm not going to string you along. I have a lot of respect for my viewers and subscribers. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. Let's explore what exactly is going on. And again, the number one area is the liability shield. Democrats have refused to give employers a shield from lawsuits over poor protection against the spread of COVID. And this is a statement from Senator John Thune. He's the number 2 Republican in the chamber. He said there are different ways of doing it, different approaches to it, but ultimately it's going to have to satisfy the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, because it's been one of his lead priorities since the beginning of this. Now, keep in mind, lawsuits have already started to be filed in multiple states against companies, and lawsuits are now involving McDonald's, Amazon, Smithfield Foods, because it's claimed that they are not doing enough to keep workers safe. And some complaints are indeed handled by workers' compensation claims, but many states and many lawsuits are indeed being filed for gross negligence. You'll see this article on your screen that was published by the Washington Post, and the headline of the article reads: Senate stimulus negotiations at risk of collapsing over whether companies can be sued for outbreaks. Democrats want protection for workers, but Republicans warn of a frenzy of lawsuits, and the debate over this entire lawsuit thing is actually holding back progress on the entire negotiation. Now, here's something interesting that I want our viewers and subscribers to know. Republican senators are concerned about a frenzy of frivolous lawsuits. So let's actually examine, has there actually been a frenzy of frivolous lawsuits? The interesting thing about lawsuits is pretty much anyone can sue anybody for anything. That's pretty much how our country works, and lawsuits become a very expensive process. They become a very time-consuming process. But let's examine, has there been a frenzy of frivolous lawsuits? So lawmakers now indeed have more information than they did several months ago when this was proposed as a priority for the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. And according to the Washington Post, and I'm going to quote the Washington Post here. By the way, I'll provide you with a link to the article in the description section below, so check it out. Data shows that the flood of litigation warned about by Republicans and business groups has not materialized so far. An online complaint tracker from the law firm Hunton Andrews Kurth shows that out of an overall pool of about 6,500 lawsuits filed across the country so far, only 116 have been filed by employees over issues like lack of personal protective equipment, exposure or infections at work, and death from the virus. Consumers have filed another 29 personal injury or wrongful death claims for COVID exposure. So on your screen, you'll actually see this complaint tracker. You'll see over 6,500 COVID-related lawsuits, and you can actually click on different states and see what's going on in individual states. And this shows you, this is a COVID-19 complaint tracker from Hunton Andrews Kurth. We'll provide you with a link to this resource in the description section below, so you can get a sense of exactly what's going on. Again, let's get back to the Washington Post. The Washington Post reported that only 116 of these lawsuits, 116, 116 out of these lawsuits have been filed by employees over issues like lack of PPE, exposure, infections at work, and death from the virus. Here's a statement on your screen from Hugh Barron, who's an expert on legal recourse for employees at the Workers Focused National Employment Law Project. I'm going to quote Hugh now. By the way, again, this is from the Washington Post article. We'll provide you with a link to the article in the description section below. That's like 2 to 4 lawsuits per state. That's a trickle. It's not a flood. This whole immunity bill that's been proposed by McConnell and Cornyn is really a solution in search of a problem. Interesting comments there. Here's another quote on your screen from Rachel Bailey, a legal analyst at Lex Machina. And this is a quote from Rachel. Cases caused by COVID-19 have not hit the federal courts in particularly a large wave at this time. So that's where things stand, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll again find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. Let me know about your opinion about the state of the stimulus negotiations right now and whether you think the liability shield is really or should really be the main sticking point. At the moment, where things stand right now, the liability shield and the entire stimulus negotiations are at risk of falling apart over the liability shield. Stimulus checks were a problem. I have to be honest with you, the lawmakers are not going to include stimulus checks, but the liability shield is likely to essentially sabotage the entire negotiations. And we are not expected to have a solution to that today, even though a draft will be released, because they're trying to, they need to buy more time to figure out the liability shield stuff, not to mention state and local aid. Let me know what you think. And do you think that the problem of frivolous lawsuits, A, is happening in a widespread manner, B, is preventing businesses from reopening? Is it, as one of the experts said, a solution in search of a problem? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I really appreciate you watching. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. What is the Ignition Time channel? The Ignition Time channel is a channel that's designed to educate our viewers about the honest news, about the truth regarding our country, regarding the economy, and regarding your money, because it's only when we understand how the country works that we get our heads around the economy. And once you understand how the economy works, you can understand that the system is rigged. Yes, I believe the system is rigged, and you can make the system work for you. To be honest, that's exactly what I did in order to be able to live the American dream. I think we need to understand the way the world works so we can essentially take advantage of the system that already exists around us. Again, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list going forward. If you want, you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. You'll get added to our email list. You'll get breaking news and alerts from us. And if we ever release a program, you'll be the first and the only person to get notified. I really appreciate you watching. Keep in mind, sometimes YouTube does not release notifications on time. So all you have to do is pretty simple. Just bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you can check out the homepage of our channel. You can watch our videos at any point in time that you want. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. And you'll get exclusive content on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Just follow us on Twitter, and then you'll be able to get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. If you learned something new from this video, please consider sharing it with friends and family. Join our community, comment below, participate in our community. Our community is growing, it's intelligent, it's bipartisan, it's respectful. Engage with us. You might make some new friends in our community. Become a part of our growing community. Also, you'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below in case you want to dig deeper and closely analyze some of our resources. So make sure you always check out our description section. And finally, the most important thing, if you learn something new from this video, please ignite the subscribe button, ignite that notification button, because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to click like. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. It tells YouTube that you found this content valuable. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.